Hello and welcome. This is Philippa Burgess, and this is part of DevFest collaboration. We're doing a series of YouTube videos that are in collaboration with the GDG groups from around the country and actually across North America. And we are introducing these events that most of them are happening in person and around the country, different dates throughout the fall. We're definitely in DevFest season. And today we're here to talk about DevFest Seattle 2023, which is happening on Saturday, October 21st in downtown Seattle. And it is a free event. It is organized through these Google networks. And I'm going to turn it over to Paulina to just tell us about the one that's happening this Saturday and really invite people to check it out. The registration link is in the description. And again, these are free events and just packed with value if you have any interest in technology and AI and all of these things that impact all of us. And I just think are really important to know, whether you work in tech adjacent, or you even have a cell phone or a computer. These are things you should know about. Actually, not more than that. These things impact our lives as we go through lives, our financial institutions, the judicial system, advertising and marketing, all of these things that impact us in all areas of our lives. This is a really good opportunity to get behind the scenes and really learn about how these technologies are created, how they're evolved, how developers can, DevFest, use them, and also how you, just as someone who is tech interested, can really benefit from this information. I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Philippa. I'm Paulina Ravinsky. I'm a WTM ambassador, Women Tech Makers ambassador, and I'm one of the folks helping put this event on. So it's being organized by the Google Developers Group here in Seattle. And as you said, it's happening this Saturday. So coming up really soon, it's a full day event. One thing for people to know is that there is also meals served. So I know people get very excited about free food. So we've got, there'll be some breakfast, there'll be lunch. I'll also be hosting a lunchtime social breakout for women in tech. So I think one of the things you were right to say, it's so important that we all understand these technologies and learn a little bit more. And another thing that's really important about these events is the networking aspect, which is, right now with the job market the way it is, so many people are looking for work, and networking is so essential to just get to know others in the field, to find out what they're doing, to find out what they recommend. Like, there's just so many opportunities in addition to learning about these really important technologies. And so I'll go through a little bit and talk about what the agenda is going to be that day.
Excellent.
Again, it's on Saturday. Okay, so we will be starting, as I mentioned, 9:30. We'll be checking people in. We'll allow a few walk-ins, but really we want people to register. It's free, but register on the Eventbrite, so we have the information for you when you arrive. It's being held at the Surf Incubator, which is on 3rd Avenue in downtown Seattle. And there is parking in the building. We think it's $7 to park. So, or of course, there's street parking. So just to take you through this, so we're planning from 9:30 all the way through to 4 p.m. And before I get to the sessions, let me just show you the agenda. So we're going to start, as I mentioned, at 9:30. We're going to do the check-in. There'll be some breakfast items. And then between 10 and 12, we're going to, do a little like welcome everyone, introduce the speakers, and then start on the tech talks. At 12 o'clock, we'll do the lunch break, which is, again, when I'm hosting the Women in Tech. So women, we really want you to turn out for this one. We'll have some fun games, some networking. And so definitely just like a lighthearted thing. No topics really per se, just more fun games. And then in the afternoon, there'll be both more talks and some hands-on workshops, which, there's some really great things that you can learn hands-on. And So that's kind of the overview, and then now going more specifically to what the events are going to be. You can see here the talks. Some of them are like half an hour, some of them are shorter. But we've got, obviously everyone's talking about generative AI, so the first two sessions are going to be on generative AI and large language models. And I know that some of these speakers are coming all the way across country to, like Roya, for example, she's from the East Coast. So they're coming from a long way to present these topics. And so I know it's going to be really good. Um, then
And
later,
these are, I was just to say, these are important topics.
yeah,
Will AI, Gen AI, terminate us? So generative AI
exactly.
is these large language models that they show up in chatbots, Chat GPT, Bard. I read something today that really was like an aha, where they said, well, will these generative models in the future be able to rewrite their own code to take over? What?
Well, I've certainly messed around with ChatGPT and writing code, and man, it can like answer some technical interview questions just like that. But I think we're all wondering, like, where is that point where it does replace us? But I know also that at least now, for now, conceptually, it can only do things that have already been done, right? Like, so it's learning things that have been done, and it doesn't have the capability like a human to um, invent something that hasn't been done. But who knows, right? We're all wondering.
But the other thing too is, and this is where I feel like this is why I feel like everybody needs to be here, and it doesn't have to be someone who's like, oh, my job is in tech. I really feel like this is so important for everybody because we are the guardrails. We have to learn how to raise our hand and speak up when these things aren't working, when these
Yes.
models are trained and they right now are trained on the data of our society. Well, our society is not equal, is not fair, and so
Mhm.
what it does is it doubles down on inequities. And it's not
Yes.
meant to do that. It is actually meant to have fairness and inclusion and not to create more problems than it solves. And the only
Mm.
way that's going to happen is for all of us to know how and where it's being deployed and what it is, what it does, and how
Mhm.
we can speak up and how we can report it and how we can be advocates for it working the way that it's intended to. And as with many technologies, there are nefarious players, there's threat actors who don't use this for good. And we also need to be aware of what that looks like and how to protect ourselves. So I think these
Right.
conversations, you don't need to come
Huge.
with a technical background, you don't need to come with an advanced degree or any degree. You just need to sort of be who you are and come with curiosity
Mm.
and with basically a heart to be along for the ride and figure out how do we make this
Yeah.
work for good.
Yeah, and actually, just recently I was reading. There's like a McKinsey report. They put out so many great reports, but this one was about what types of jobs will grow between now and 2030, and which ones will shrink. And it's true that some jobs that are repetitive, that can be automated, will go away. I mean, I think we all know that now. But these skills, like picking up these skills and being open to picking up these skills at this moment in time, is going to set you up in a much better place to where between now and 2030, like, you'll be positioned to take on newer jobs. And they don't have to be as a developer, but someone who really understands the context of that we live in now.
Absolutely. And there's so much free training out there. I actually just
Mhm.
started Microsoft training on generative AI, and it's a prerequisite to become a Microsoft student ambassador since I'm in grad school.
I love it.
And then we're part of the Google ecosystem, and Google has a ton of free trainings. It's
So
really just
much.
your time and attention, and that's why showing up to things like this I think is so important because you get that information, you get those details, and it kind of drills it in and makes you more committed to say, oh yeah, I'm going to follow through on that opportunity to take that learning
And it's a
and
great
also the net.
environment. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just gonna say it's a great environment here because it's, there'll be lots of students there and others who are just passionate about sharing this knowledge. So, it doesn't have to feel like an intimidating environment for someone who's not as familiar with the technology.
I love it. Okay, we can move on. I just had to sort of point out, will Gen AI terminate us? I think that's a great
Right?
question.
It's such a
And
great title.
yes.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. Yeah. Then the next sessions, we're talking about Kotlin, and this is like, I'm very interested in this one too because I think this is a great topic, the collaboration between designers and developers, and it's only 15 minutes, so I'm just so intrigued. Like, ooh, what, like so brief to really get an idea across. So I'm excited to see what this talk is about as well. And then, yeah, this, additional more AI topics, right? That we're definitely AI heavy because that's where the time we live in right
Mm-hmm.
now. So, and yeah, so talking about, I'm also really interested in this session about the key decisions around architecting data and machine learning platforms. That's a fascinating topic. And then, yeah, and this one I think was just added. This the Dolly. I don't know if you played around with it. I have a little bit, and yeah, that's definitely something I know very little about. So very
I
interesting.
just actually, as part of my Microsoft training, they actually had me submit a form application to get an access to Dolly as part of that. And also going to the architecturing data and machine learning. That's a lot of what I study. I'm in geographic information science with a focus on GeoInt, which is intelligence related to geospatial
Mm,
imagery and machine learning, and to just define for people who may not you hearing it out there, like, what is it?
mhm,
It's a subset of artificial intelligence, and the subset of machine learning is deep learning. And within that, for example, machine learning is good with structured data, which is tabular data. It's in an Excel or CSV file.
mhm,
And like, we work a lot with points, lines, polygons. That can also be put in tabular data. You could also pull like a Twitter feed, and that is going to be qualitative data. And it's not tabular, it's unstructured. And that's where deep learning comes in, is like working with that unstructured data and to figure out what kind of patterns can it recognize, what kind of sentiment can it recognize. And that these machine learning models, basically, in the old model of computer science, we would give the computer the formula.
mhm,
And in this machine learning model, we don't give it the formula. We just give it the inputs and the outputs. It figures out the formula. It
mhm,
figures out the patterns. And so that's a huge interest of mine, is understanding machine learning. And something that also came up, because I'm in a lot of Facebook groups with people learning coding, learning data science. And a lot of people are like, if I do the Google certificate, can I get a job? And the idea to me is like, oh, I'm like, that's just the foot in the door. That's just where you
yeah,
start. You just begin, and the rabbit hole goes deep. And then you want to find out where you want to specialize or what your specific subject matter expertise is, and all
mhm,
of these things related to it. But so I'm just wanting to learn more about machine learning and
mhm.
tie that into my work in geospatial. What I'm
I love
figuring out is that they were saying that in the future, model training is almost going to be more important than software development. Because right now, a
mhm,
lot of the tech jobs are software developer jobs,
yeah,
and the new kind of line of work and position that's being created and that's going to be very much in demand are machine learning model trainers, data
mhm.
trainers.
Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating. And actually, this is our second time talking. I just love like how many things you're doing at the same time, I have to say. That is just amazing. It's definitely, I know last time we talked about, you're learning Russian, you're
Yep.
learning all these languages. You're doing some deep dives into machine learning and AI, and yeah, and this, right, you're doing this. So yeah, I'm just fascinated and very just like inspired by your all your multiple things.
Well, the good and bad news, like, I have to be careful because my lane right now is I'm a graduate student. I have 2 courses. I need to make sure I stay in my lane. But at the same time, as a student, you get to raise your hand for all of this
Mhm.
cool stuff. and in a way that you can't in a number of ways when you're in a professional role. One, because your professional role is pretty defined in what you can and can't do, and they also see you as commercial and professional. Whereas a student, you're in this sort of magical place where people are like, oh, we want to give you free stuff and learning. And that's why they have Google's developer student clubs to build and nurture the next generation of students. That's why they have Microsoft student ambassadors and just all of these things that are available to students. I keep raising my hand for stuff and I keep getting it. And now it's a problem. I got a scholarship kind of grant that they were like, yes, and you just have to go through our training, which I've done, and deliver the final capstone project, which is due on Monday. So
Whoa,
and I'm
I
like, I kind of
mean,
would like that. I really would like to. It's a great software. It's for 3D tiling. I'm so excited about it. But also, and it comes with a nice paycheck. And I'm just like, ooh, I gotta. So, but also can't capsize my schoolwork at the same time. So
yeah.
I've fortunately been that opportunity did come through school, and I've been talking to my professor about it. So I actually have office hours with her because she apparently got the same micro grant herself, and so we're gonna trade notes, and she's gonna give me the fast track of what can I build in a weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be cramming all weekend, so yeah.
But it's all layers. It all builds on top of each other. I mean, everything I'm learning is spatial data science, which is data science, and it ties into development. It ties into machine learning, and so I'm at this nexus of a lot of like really, to me, really interesting things. And
Yeah.
then with Dolly, we're starting to get and you're seeing that they've just added this feature to both ChatGPT and to Bard, where you can upload an image.
Mhm, mhm.
And one thing I like, and we talk about language learning, is you can. So my mom had something in her pantry that was in a foreign language. I don't speak Polish, or Eastern European. I knew it was something. It was something I didn't speak, and I just took a photo of it, popped it into Bard, and Bard translated it for me.
Thank you, Bard. What was it? What was in your mom's pantry?
It was a pudding. It was a
Oh,
pistachio
okay,
pudding.
okay.
And it was very basic directions, but it was still kind of something that I just want to make sure I did it right.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and like just took a picture. And so the idea that you can now take a picture and with the, I mean, obviously Russian has a different alphabet, but when you start getting into Chinese and Mandarin, and when you start getting in Japanese, like it's a whole
Mhm.
Arabic, it's a whole different set. So you
Yeah.
can't even try to like type it in to say what is this. You
Right.
can't use Google Translate that way. So
Yep.
being able to take a picture of something and just say, tell me what this is, and the
Yeah.
fact that
That's a
these
game
models
changer.
speak over
Yeah.
60 languages
Yeah.
is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's such a game changer. And yeah, I traveled to Japan with my son, and there were times when we were in the store and it was like, "Rrr," but even then, we had Google Translate, but obviously that's not to the level of sophistication as the tools, just a couple of years later now that we all
So
have.
now you can have your app open. Go to your OpenAI app, ChatGPT. You go to your Bard, have it on your mobile phone, and you can take a picture,
Yeah.
and it will tell you what you're
Yeah.
looking at.
Yeah, I mean, that probably would have helped because we ended up buying something that was called spine chicken to eat, and we still are like, was it actually a spine? Because it didn't taste great. But I think it would have been great to have some context, not just what Google Translate told us was spine chicken. And
I was
well,
in China, and they had something that was urine something. It was like a chicken dish, and I was like, I think someone should tell them that that's probably not going to be a good seller to in the English
right.
speaking crowd.
All right. They're gonna be turned off. Yeah, I should probably tell you. Okay, so there's gonna be a couple of hands-on workshops as well in this. So I want to just bring us back because I feel like
Yeah.
we're chatting
Yes.
in chat. So yeah, so there's gonna be an opportunity to build your own model, which I'm fascinated. This is a 2-hour workshop, so fascinated
And
to.
right ahead of that, in the introduction to Palm API and MakerSuite, these are
Yeah.
Google products and services that listening to, I didn't go to the live event, but for Google I/O and being part of an I/O extended uh, presentation, I was watching a lot of those videos and understanding that, they're just inviting developers to say, build on top of our models. These are for you to build your business, build your company, build your app, go make money, go add value. And Maker Suite is really kind of a no code version of this.
Ooh,
So
I actually
don't
didn't know
be
that.
intimidated by the fact that, like,
Mhm.
oh, I've got to get in there and really start to learn coding if that's really new to you. A lot of these now are sort of offering these no code solutions, or very light code solutions to
That is
building
incredible.
your solutions.
Yeah, actually, that's really incredible. I'm working on something, and on my time where it would be amazing to be able to integrate with some no code AI functionality. So, very excited. Okay, okay. And then, yeah, the final one that we have here is this introduction to Kotlin, and I think we all know Madonna. In fact, I think you interviewed her as
I
well.
did, yep. And Madonna's great. And so Kotlin, I have even asked this is one of the things, like, when people say, do I learn one language or where do I start? The idea is, like, part of it is like, learn the language, learn the vocabulary, learn the what is everything. I even recently asked the question, what's Kotlin? And she's like, oh, that's the programming language that you use to build an Android app. I was like,
Android, yeah,
oh, good, okay. I don't necessarily at this moment need to know Kotlin, but I think it's still important when you're getting into the tech space to know what these things are and what they do, and
yeah.
who uses them and why. So
Yeah, and I know also like Kotlin is similar to Java, so for a lot of people, like kind of have that crossover. But I also have not. My background was in Java, but I'm not familiar with the syntax
yeah.
or the special things about Kotlin. So yeah, it's almost going to be hard to figure out which session to attend because there's so much. And oh, and also during my breakout, I just want to give you this is also one of our fellow women tech ambassadors. This AI Barbie image. Have you seen those? I want to show you. I don't know if you can see. Oh man, the blur. Okay, I don't think we're gonna be able to see it, but I wanted to show you my
Oh, I
Barbie.
can see it right now. I can see it perfectly now. Yep. I
Okay,
can see
good.
it. Yep.
Oh my God, my Barbie image is just hysterical.
So
Yes.
that's the other thing, was we were talking about text, we were talking about foreign languages. A lot of these, because I now use Adobe Firefly, and now you can give it a prompt image, and so it can sort of get even more text to image, and we're
Yeah.
getting a lot more image generation capabilities, and where you can sort of describe what it is that you want it to create, and then sort of key. So I'll actually, for even YouTube covers, I've done a number of them using Adobe Firefly, which is totally powered um, by Palm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I got distracted because I was like, I really want to show you this because it's so amusing, but also I don't know, like I can probably let's see. I don't know if
Go
this
ahead
will.
and send, if you can send me some screenshots, and when I do my sort of, oh, you can do it that way. Yep. I was gonna say I
Yeah,
can also.
I think I can if it lets me do a non yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in preview, right? Let's
Oh,
see.
you know what? That's me. You probably added it, and I just need to pop it onto the stage. That's me.
Is that I
Yeah,
don't
I've
know.
popped it onto the stage, but it's coming up blank.
Oh well, it's all right. It's all right. But it was just an idea because I wanted people to get excited about creating one of these for themselves because that's one of the fun things we're gonna do during this breakout. I want us to spend some time celebrating all of our various wins that we've had just in the last week or two because I feel like we all have them. I want to have all the women in tech. Or even like women looking to get into tech who come to this, talk about their wins. I want all of us to make a Barbie because hilarious and fun. And then, yeah, and then we'll probably have some fun questions just to get to know each other. So this is why I was so fixated in showing you my picture because
Well,
it's
send me a screenshot of it, and when I do my light edit, I'll be popping it in here.
okay. I'll do that.
So,
I will do that. And yeah, so I don't know, maybe that covers everything for the Saturday. Maybe just going back to say like it's Saturday 9:30 to 4. If you can only make part of it, go ahead and show up for that. It's downtown Seattle on 3rd Avenue. And I think you're going to be sharing the link to the event
yep,
in
it's in the description.
awesome.
It's in the description. And yeah, and this is just a reminder. I mean, this one is on October 21st, Seattle, but the DevFest is happening. This is the season. So there are events throughout North America. Just go to DevFest and just Google it, and you'll see, and just look at regional events near you. Most of them are in person, so they're a great opportunity to, now that we're sort of
Yes.
post pandemic, to really get back out and meet people and socialize, build your network, see how these things are going to be impacting your office, and where you can actually help your company by understanding and knowing these things, or upskilling yourself so that you're not impacted by any surprises that come with this.
Mm,
It's going to evolve our workplace and our marketplace. And also, like, it's a great community of people, and just represent as a woman, come out, and
yes.
or as an ally if you're a man. Just, we really appreciate all the allies as well who
So
support
true.
us on our journey. And these events, again, are throughout the season, so there'll be plenty more happening throughout October, November, and into December. And so definitely encourage you to find one locally near you, or if they have an online hybrid version of it, do that. And I'm going to be also hosting about a total of about 20 plus events in relation to DevFest collaboration. So like and subscribe, and you'll help more people see this, and you'll also get news when I do more of these events. And I thank you for that. So thanks again. Have a wonderful event on Saturday. That sounds so exciting, and
Thank you.
you're going to come away with just a ton of great new information, and people who are just going to go like, wow, I had no
Yeah.
idea. Like, this is exciting and scary and exciting, but I can find my way forward to know how to end up on the front foot for myself, but also for society as a whole. We need all of the
Yes.
advocates and the guardrails that only come from awareness.
100%. 100%. It's such a big topic when you talk about diversity.
Excellent. All right. Well, I thank you all. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.